Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about American politics and G.I. Joe, specifically the G.I. Joe Tracker, who is a Native American. I think his first name is Charlie. And what they printed, what they actually printed on his file card. All right, so a little bit of background here. So basically, I'm a huge fan of G.I. Joe, but it is one of these interests that I'm incredibly blessed. I have, I'm not poor, but I'm not wealthy, but I have enough to dip into some of the things I enjoy. I really enjoy Magic the Gathering and comic books and books. So I buy those, right? But I am passionately interested in GI Joe, but I just don't have any more bandwidth in my spend, right? And so there's these topics like I'm a huge sneakerhead, right? But I don't have any decent sneakers, right? Like I just can't. I'm really interested in it. I know a lot about it. I study the culture. I just don't have the money, beyond these other interests. I have enough to be interested in a few things, but I can't spend on everything I'm interested in. And GI Joe is one of these things. I just don't have a collection, but I'm fascinated by it, right? So so I've been actually using the internet to learn a lot more about GI Joe, it's a deep intellectual property, with and uh, it's a multi-platform intellectual property. It has video games, board games, tabletop role-playing games, um, and this is all beyond the toys, which is obvious, right? And even the toys span much farther than you could ever imagine. It's a massive intellectual property. But Tracker, the Native American GI Joe, has been around in this world for a very long time, and it's really quite fascinating. Just what he's there. So GI Joes are they're action figures, and they're printed on there's a cellophane on the front, and then they call it a card. There's a big card on the back, right? And on the back of that card that hangs on the peg at the store, there are the GI Joe card files and file cards, and you literally cut them out and you put them into like a file box, right? And it's quite famous, and it's really a big deal, right? So, so I saw this on Facebook, and they're like, I couldn't believe this was real, but it's real. And then they showed this image of the Tracker file card, right? And you could look it up, so you could do your Google, man. DYOR. You will find this is quite real. So it says on it, it has on the bottom a quote, and it says, "Charlie is a shaman. He's a medicine man. He's not a healer or he's not a healer or a voodoo doctor, or there's like one more in there that he's not, right?" And then it says, there's really no equivalent to describe what Charlie is, except if we had shrinks that could actually help people. What? Right? Like, so here you are, and I'm fascinated by this because I believe that actually, like institution, a good example, during the plague years, we had this institution, and it was, and people were like, oh, if I get really sick, there's this institution, it has 3 letters, and I can go and ask them the truth, and they'll give me the truth. And they lied, just flat out. They were like, oh, you don't need this thing. You don't need it. You don't need that. Don't buy cases of that. You don't need it. Everybody needed it. And then, came out later that this institution, this government institution, that's entire job is to give the right information to people on what they need in a crisis, literally lied to their faces, right? So increasingly, and then also news sources, right? Just, like journalists are among the most distrusted groups in America now. Like, people are like, oh no, no, journalists don't tell the truth, right? It's all hatred and vitriol. Whoever they hate, they're just going to lie on them, right? And so I'm fascinated by this concept that truth is in our fiction and fiction is in our news and being served up by our institutions, right? And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget this 3-letter institution that, in the middle of the plague years, I was like, oh, we need this thing. Let's go buy 3 cases of this thing. And, someone I love just like looked it up, and they're like, no, there's a sign right here that says nobody needs these right now, right? And I was so vexed when I found out that they just lied, just flat out lied to American people. No, we need these for other people. We're just going to lie to you right now. Came out, completely public that they had just lied through their teeth. American institution, when, and we know it now, right? Like when the fecal hits the fan, man, like you are in a situation where, it's just, you literally can't believe, government institutions, they'll lie right to your face. I mean, that is shocking. That is just like, that is a very, very bad situation, right? But here, G.I. Joe is saying the entire psychology and psychiatry industry is phrenology. It's just a dead discipline, and they don't help anyone, right? Now, why on earth would they print this on a card that they give to children, right? Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are in, and we're here, right? We're in the American King Donald Trump era, right? And people are just coming out and saying the obvious. They're like, hey, man, I'm not going to some couch scribbler who's going to charge me $200 an hour and answer my questions with their questions, right? And beg me to talk about my mother. Like, I'm not going to do it. It's not real. It is a false discipline, right? And so increasingly, there are these entire disciplines that people are like, this is phrenology. This is just feeling bumps on somebody's head to, determine, aspects of their, determine aspects of their personality. Like, this is a completely false discipline, right? And so that's my question then, right? Is the truth about the entirety of the psychology and psychiatry discipline sitting right there on the back of an American toy? And it was distributed to literally millions of American kids as a warning, right? And the reason why this would happen is people are so frustrated that they can't say truth. You can't say truth on any mainstream news source, and you cannot say truth through a U.S. government organization that was literally funded to tell the truth at exactly the critical time, right? And you can't put this genie back in the bottle, man. Like, people have massive distrust of government institutions at this point, American government institutions, and that is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. But we can all calm down, because I think there's a good chance you could find the truth on the back of G.I. Joe toys that hang at Target. Like, that is why, like, so basically, if you want truth, you just got to figure out where to look for it. Don't go to government institutions for truth. Don't go to news sources for truth. Go to the toy shelf. Fascinating. Absolutely. Is that where we should be going for truth? That's absolutely fascinating. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Absolutely nothing more, absolutely nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.